Fellow Ambazonians, good afternoon to you all watching by way of satellite, by way of Facebook, by way of Roku. However, you are watching, I'm glad to have you with me today on another episode of The War Zone right here on ABS TV. Fellow Ambazonians, we are an oppressed people and we are marching on to freedom. And no matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, we are determined to stay on course. The locomotive of our freedom is very much on course. Some are trying to derail it, but I can assure you that their efforts will be in vain. We will get to our destination, and that is none other than Boya. We will get there. The signs are there for those who are willing to see. The past weeks and months have demonstrated our resolve to make sure that this becomes a reality. So before I proceed with this program, I would like to welcome all who are watching, our refugees scattered all over the world, especially those in Nigeria and Ghana and other African countries, those who are wandering through the jungles of Mexico trying to find themselves wherever they're going, those who are in the desert fleeing from the horrible situation that has plagued our country. Those who are already out here in the diaspora, I say hello to you. We are together, we are committed, we are determined to stay on course and to make sure that this journey that we started years ago, will soon arrive at our own very destination, our homeland, Ambazonia. Now, so fellow Ambazonians, I cannot stop you without thanking our own ARFs on the ground who are doing their best with the limited resources at their disposal to make sure that our homeland is indeed defended. And I want to pay my respects as well to our civilians who are bearing the brunt of La République du Cameroon's brutality. And I want to tell them to hold tight. We have sacrificed so much. We cannot afford to let go at this time. They should just be patient, and the days ahead will be much better. And and now I would like for you to, fellow Ambazonians, join me in uh, making sure that we have as many people watching as possible by inviting your friends, inviting your family, share the link on the various WhatsApp fora and on Facebook, YouTube, however you want to share it. Just make sure that there are a good number of persons watching because we have some really useful information to share with you today. And it would be a shame if we only have a few people watching. So I hope you can do me a favor and share the link so that we have as many people watching as possible. Again, I'm very delighted to have you with me today. I'm your humble host, Mike Fusi. I will be bringing a panel to join me in the discussions of today, and a two-man panel, very powerful, of course, but none other than Dr. Ngwambe will be joining me, as well as Honorable Samuel Thomas will be here with me, and we will make sure that we'll break things down for you on the various topics that we have chosen for you today, some of which are of course, we have heard some really disturbing audios coming from a certain very demented lady in Nigeria who is causing havoc amongst our refugee community. We will find out who this lady is and who she is working for. And of course, we are also going to uh, uh, look at the fact that Ambazonians have overwhelmingly said yes to the option of a referendum as one of the options for us to find a way out of this problem that was brought on us by La République du Cameroon and, of course, its proxies, France, and the others. Uh, we should be able to have not just one tool in our arsenal. We need to have multiple tools that we can use to get ourselves out of this quagmire. And again, we will take a look at the so called 20th May, which is now becoming a reality that it is something of the past, that it will never again be what it used to be, that it is pretty much dead and buried. We are going to take a look at that and some of the really funny images that came out of that day. And again, we are also going to take a look at the brilliant performance of our ARFs on the ground. I cannot praise these guys enough. They are really doing great. Their expertise is increasing. They are becoming more precise, and they are doing so without exposing themselves to harm. That is a brilliant part of it. They just do their thing from a distance, and they watch it like it's like playing a toy, and they just do it to get the results, and they walk away. And the enemy is there licking his wounds. Well, they asked for it. We did not invite them to come into our territory. They can do us a favor and simply pack out, and this thing will be over. But as long as they keep coming, well, we are in it, right? So, again, we will also give some advice to our ARFs as well as our civilians on how they have to coexist together in this very difficult situation that we find ourselves. In a situation like this, fellow Ambazonians, where we have an ongoing war, there are situations where misunderstandings will lead to very unfortunate situations. We have to keep on advising. And we need to understand that all of these guys, not just some, all of them picked up whatever they are using to defend themselves uh, without any training. They've never been trained on the moral on any code of conduct that they're supposed to have as they prosecute this war. And we are just making do, trying to advise them as we go along. And it is sometimes unavoidable, unfortunate, but unavoidable that there are times when things will not happen the way we want. And when that happens, we have to acknowledge it, correct it, and keep moving. And so we will have some advice for our ARFs to make sure that they're doing the right thing, especially doing the right thing by our people. Our people must be taken care of. That is the priority, and we cannot emphasize enough on that. So at this point now, I would like to bring in my panel, Dr. Ngwambe and Honorable Sama Thomas, to join me on the set of the war zone today. Dr. Ngwambe, are you there? If you're there, please, can I see you? Is Dr. Ngwambe there? Okay. Yes. Yeah, I think you need to turn your audio on, Dad.
Ooh, it's on, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, masoma ushimale sote lensa.
Oshimata.
You know, those who understand the country talk, they'll get the joke. So, my fellow Ambazonians, it is an honor to be here with you today. I know this is going to be a very interesting discussion that we're going to have today. I also want to make sure that I greet my fellow co-panelists. That is none other than Honorable Sama Thomas. Fellow Ambazonians, stay glued to this channel, and let's talk. Let's talk.
Yes, after you now, I would like to see if Honorable Sama Thomas is there. Honorable Sama Thomas, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear me.
Absolutely.
Okay, fine. Okay, afternoon, doctor and comrade, and also for our televiewers on the ground with the watch, we get exactly what we share with them all Southern Cameroon and all over the world. With the watch, we need to come because we get monopoly or we get our wisdom for what you give for Tokam. But we come to can share with opinion with them for to them out there, make everybody take and turn them for your own way and for advice way on whether we go wrong and how we move. Thank you.
Thank you there, Honorable Sama Thomas. It's good to have you with me here today. I know we have a program that is jam-packed with a lot of things to discuss. And but first, after I had already sent out a flyer of this program, I saw a certain a video of a little girl that was being molested by one Larapuidu Cameroon, I think it was police officer. And I could
I
not
saw it as
just skip
well.
through. this program without bringing that to us, because it exemplifies exactly what our people are going through in that country, especially at this time when you have internally displaced Ambazonians, some hiding within the territory of La Republic Cameroon. If you can imagine
Yes,
what
go into your house. You call your
people
father.
are
I'm
going
going to
through.
my house. I can't want them know about. Oh, you cannot arrest me. Leave me alone. Oh, what's wrong with you people? People cannot arrest me. You consider the police people is your friend, but you can't harass me on the road. What about? What have I done? I'm not a criminal. I'm in my quartier. I'm in my quartier. Why are you holding me? Why are you holding me? Why are you holding me? Why are you no? Yes, go inside. You call your father. I'm going to my house.
Okay, so that is exactly what I wanted us to see, fellow Brazilians, fellow viewers. Tangwambe, Abisama Thomas. This is exactly what our people go through every day in that country. This is what we go through. This little girl is telling this colonial brute that she's trying to get home, and he is sending her somewhere else. I mean, what is the crime here? Do you see a crime there, Honorable Samantha was talking about? Do you see a crime there? What are you supposed to do as an ordinary civilian faced with this situation? Because this guy is, and this guy is speaking in English, and of course, the guy, the so-called police officer, is insisting to speak in French, and he's not listening. He's not listening to this girl who is saying, "I'm trying to get home." But this guy is telling him to go that way. Go that way where? To do what? And why? Honorable Sama Thomas, can you take on this? Because it's just unbelievable what is happening to our people.
Comrade Mike, that incident for that we are sister with by the La Republic, we call it something gendarme. It not mean I say that we are sister or we begin, it not get, because in I say issue I don't get ID card for their station. That's a clear proof of a rapist.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that we are sister, it walk about the street with your fellow brother or your friend, whosoever, but the action with that rape, it not affect the when we are the worker or your brother, but he is now on that little girl, Aleba. That's a rape. When you want to bully the girl, so me go inside motor, me they take you, go rape her. That is all. There is nothing again beside that. But if any other thing be there beside that one, if I stand and say, you don't get ID card. If I stand and say, you don't ask the ID card, you don't provide them. But for the
Yes.
simple fact, say, it say, Alela, whether they do, you know the complaint and say, you don't get
Mhm.
ID card, but Alela inside their motor, a typical action of a rapist.
Yeah, I think you are on something there, Honorable Sama Thomas, because uh, uh, the girl is complaining. If you go think, say, if the girl don't do something, you know, the man will tell you, as he tell you, say, you don't do so, you don't do so. No, there's no crime being pronounced there. No crime may be pronounced. It's just say, go for it. And maybe that the reason that way they beat you angry, maybe you don't approach the girl no agree. So it just take it anger now. And I want to draw, Dr. Ngwambe, I want to draw your attention and compare this behavior to the one for some video what we see of recent of a Nigerian police officer too, where he harassed a civilian for see that civilian a phone where it be against the law for Nigeria for doing so. And we tend to compare Nigeria and La Republic Cameroon. Those are, it's like day and night. That police officer where that incident become to light, they will bring that officer in the public, and I think they be demoted or they be dismissing one of those things. They bring it for public on camera, and they humiliate him for demoting or dismissing. I think you say when you look at this incident for this young girl, nothing no happen with this brute, this rapist, as Honorable Samantha talking. Changwambe.
When I was watching that video, I was coming off with the same impression that Honorable Sama had. That is this some kind of sexual thing that was about to happen there, because it didn't make any sense why he was harassing the girl over an ID of all things. And we know how La République du Cameroon, if you don't have an ID in that country, it's a pretext for them to lock you up, start to extort you for money, and you can even spend extended periods of jail time there because of this ID issue and the fact that they expect you to bribe them. So that's what I in particular was worried about. But my fellow Ambazonians, I mean, this is something that we're used to. I was in a forum where a brother of ours was talking about the mistreatment that he received growing up at the hands of these francophones. He told the story of how he had one French teacher who, if he didn't pass or anything like that, he would give him negative marks and would use that negative marks. And because of the authority he had as a teacher, he would take those negative marks now and carry them over for that student to be suffering from those negative marks into the next academic year. And then if that student wasn't going to be a student of his, that Francophone teacher would try to find another Francophone teacher to take on those marks and use those marks as a negative influence on them. So you see this kind of abuse. And then my fellow Ambazonians, those of you who have gone to school at Ngwakele and SWA, you all, Ngwakele and SWA, you all know how they don't translate any of the notes, any of the lectures, any of the exams into English. Mm-hmm. You are forced to go through some kind of strange educational practices just to get your degree. And when you see that these types of things are happening in an academic environment, and then you are seeing that they're happening in a judicial, legal environment, all being propagated and tolerated by the state, here we are. And this is one of the things the international community understands about our plight.
I think if we have to write all the very discriminatory experiences of our people, just to cite the examples, not by each person, just to cite the examples of the kinds of discrimination that we face from these people, you can write volumes and volumes and volumes. I personally experienced them myself. Both in school and in my professional life. They're so glaring. And that's one of the things that just turned me against these people, because you see yourself working in a situation where you are better qualified, but you see someone who does not have a clue what he is doing being your boss. And there's nothing you're going to do about it just because they are from Yaoundé or something. So I just wanted us to see that, but that wasn't actually one of the topics we were going to talk about. But so we'll not spend too much time on it. Let's move on. I'm sure that during the week you must have listened to an audio from a certain woman. What's the name again? Omari Chama, who is based in Nigeria, and this woman is one of the worst things that could have been out there talking about the Ambazonian struggle for the restoration of our independence. I don't know how she found herself here. She is clearly a Nigerian. And it is coming to light that this woman was recruited by the Sako cabal to do their bidding in Nigeria. And she has tried to attack several individuals within this struggle, especially those who stand for the truth. And what is so sickening this time is the fact that she has extended her very mischievous behavior to our refugees in Nigeria. And she is exposing them to some very serious risks and consequences that could cost some of them maybe their lives even. And it is time for us to call out this woman for what she is doing. And when I say call her out, I think we should call out Sako, on whose behalf she is serving. Sako, who hired this woman. We have to take note that, I don't know, it's becoming a trend for the Sako people to go hire people in Nigeria. You remember that they hire some two girls who are doing all of their propaganda on their propaganda outlet they call the ABC now. Those two girls are based in Nigeria. I don't know. Are there no Ambazonians out there who can carry Sako's dirty water that she now only has to go to Nigeria to get people there to do all this very nasty work? I just want you to compare to at least make a statement about this lady before we look at the specifics and the ramifications of what this woman is doing on our refugees. Dr. Ngwambe, you go first.
So, first of all, I don't even know if it's very possible that Ambazonians know who have heard some of these funny audios from this woman, right? I don't know if these people are auditioning to one day work for Walt Disney, where they'll be able to write all kinds of fabulous fantasy tales. I just don't know, because the kind of things that they create, you wonder where the hell are they getting these things from? And worst of all, they don't even exist. It would be different if it was things that existed, but some of these things don't exist. And I'll give you an example. A couple of months ago, they came up with some lie about the Southern Cameroon's Refugees Union, and how there's some comrades who are refugees, mind you, they're refugees in Ground One who engage in humanitarian activities for our brothers and our sisters to keep them safe and everything. And they said that these people were conspiring to convince refugees in Ground One to go back to French Cameroon, to La Republique du Cameroon.
Yeah, yes.
Where the hell is it from? I mean, when we check in with some of our contacts,
those are some of the crazy things that this woman is saying. That the effort is to conspire to send these refugees to La Republique to be imprisoned or to be killed or something like that. Honorable Sama Thomas, related to this point, the story is that our refugees in Nigeria are bearing the brunt of a lot of exploitation by some local Nigerian officials, and they are striving to form a union where they could be speaking with one voice, have a stronger bargaining power. So some of these leaders came together and said, let's not continue being in factions, because it is making us weaker. If we come together and form a union, we'll be stronger, we'll be able to resist some of these very exploitatory tendencies that are coming from these officials. I mean, is it just me, or why is something like that a bad idea? Honorable Sama Thomas, can you explain to me why, for people to come together, to have a stronger voice, why is that such a bad thing to the Sako people? Why are they against it? Do they want to see our people being exploited, or what?
Well, you know, when you divide a people, you can easily control them. You keep them fighting amongst themselves. Sako has been an act of division. That is why he is afraid of the refugees in Nigeria coming together to talk like one man. Had it been the refugees in Nigeria were together before Comrade Chris went down to Nigeria last year, the incident that took place in Nigeria couldn't have happened. But because they were divided and have some stooges implanted there by Sako Maricham, you guys say he's Omari, what? They have to Comrade Chris and others who went there to be arrested. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't succeed in doing that job. Comrade Chris and others escaped of their darkness. They vented their anger on some of the refugees. Like I said, I was informed in January that Nigeria had deported 6,000 Cameroonian refugees between December and January this year to La Republique. They are now in Konegi. So why is it that this incident only happened when Comrade Chris went down there and Southern Cameroonians were deported by the Nigerian, deported by the Nigerian system? The link between Sako and the adoption of our people from Nigeria, repatriating them back to like coming of Omari Cham and the G,
Yes,
is Om herself that said He is dealing with the DSS in Nigeria to follow up and arrest some of our people. And our people are also complaining that the DSS is following them up. It's not now that they've been complaining, which we never knew exactly what was going on there, that the DSS is behind our people. But the link of Omar Cham and Sako can now give us that lead to what has been going on in Nigeria. But till today, we cannot understand why Ayotabi and the rest were picked up in Nigeria and deported to La Republic Cameroon. And this case is now coming up with a link to it, which is attached to Sako. Sako needs to explain to the Southern Cameroon people what has been going on in Nigeria with our people, that they are finding themselves in La Republic dungeons. Had it been Sako was not for how many years today that Omar Cham has been doing damage that she's causing in Nigeria, he could have come up at one point to say, hey, woman, not on my name. But as she has been doing it and calling Sako's name, that is the person she is working for. And Sako has never come out to condemn any of her actions. Sako is an accomplice of everything that has been going wrong with our people.
Of course. He is not just an accomplice, he is the sponsor. Sako is very much in on it. Because, and to your point, you know, Sako always comes out and say, oh, I cannot control everybody who is talking about, who saying things, calling my name. This woman has done this over and over. It's the same woman who was raising that alarm, as Riley said, when Comrade Chris was... Yes. She was shouting when Comrade Chris was out there trying to call the authorities to come and arrest him. This same mad woman, this crazy woman, she comes out with some of the craziest conspiracies out there. Sako has never raised a voice to say, no, you stop it. In the same way, just like this other native doctor, Uchiba Nelson, will come out with some of the craziest ideas. Sako has never raised a voice to say no. And this is Sako's MO. You know, she sends these people out, she sends these surrogates out, and she says, and he sits back and pretends like he knows nothing about it when he is the one that engineers them to go out and do these dirty jobs that they do on others, to bring them down. Like you rightly said, who knows if Sako was involved in Sisiko's adoption and the others? Who knows? At that time, we did not know how devilish this man is. If you can see refugees who are being used and abused, and they're trying to come together to see how they can strengthen their bargaining power, and you are there, because Sako is so scared that if they should come together, he will no longer be able to print t-shirts and give them, and they may not be able to use them, because that his only interest is survival, how to survive, even if he's doing nothing. Dr. Ngwame, let me ask you this. Let's look at how much Sako is spending on all of these initiatives. He is paying, say this, Omari Chama, he's paying the journalists. He is paying for ABC TV, which is the only thing they have going. He pays himself his salary, and he pays his house rent. From the money that the few very gullible ones who are still drinking the Kool-Aid, he's dishing out to them. The few who are still drinking that Kool-Aid and still willing to dish out the small money that he has, he spends it on these very useless things. At the end of the day, he has nothing to spend for our boys on Ground Zero. He has nothing. Then when he sees actions being taken on the ground, he comes out and says, oh, the lava storm is happening. You saw Ground Zero is boiling where, Sako? We have asked over and over and over again that your own urge is Tico is there. Why is it that Sako cannot even find 5 boys to start a camp in Tico? Until Sako is able to do that, I think Sako should shut up his mouth. What don't you think so, Dr. Ngwame? Shouldn't this man just close his mouth?
You know, the internal sabotage that these people perpetrate on the liberation struggle, it has no bounds. Like I said earlier, from starting stories against people, making up all kind of lies against people, giving out incorrect information and incomplete information when it comes to the issue of the referendum, which is internationally supervised referendum, which everybody's talking about. Poor oversight and poor implementation of acquisitions and other projects that are necessary to ensure that we secure our independence and sovereignty. I mean, and then look at what we have at the bottom of the screen here, orchestrating with the Nigerian government, attempting to orchestrate with the Nigerian government the arrest of fellow patriots, fellow comrades who went down to ground one to perform a service to our resilient people who are refugees. I mean, it's a strong indictment against Dr. Sako and, you know, activities that he is doing that are coming across as very anti-liberation struggle oriented. It's rather unfortunate. You know, I wish that we could focus on collectively, right, as we've been being advised, doing those things together that will actually help us to succeed. But it's rather unfortunate that we have to come back and address some of these things that he is using his surrogates to do, you know, that don't really help us out. I mean, I don't know what is going to take. I think I heard Comrade Chris talking the other day on one of his shows where he said it's going to have to come up to the Ambazonian people standing up and saying, no, we're not going to take it anymore. If you, Dr. Sako, or you, whoever is doing things that are not appropriate and you're doing things that are anti-revolution, if you don't stop, we are going to stop supporting you. And that's really what it's going to take. Anybody in Ambazonian community that is out there that is seeing these things that are going on, and you see the disunity that his activity, Dr. Sako's activities and the activities of his surrogates are doing, you need to tell them to stop. And if they don't stop, you need to withdraw your support from them.
This man is so much against unity. He is so much against unity. As much as we talk about collaboration, even Ayabacho, as horrible as his own actions may be, at least you see Ayabacho talking to some other comrade. Who is Sako talking to? Sako is not talking to anybody. He sees himself as an overall emperor, the only king. And there's no other person out there that can do what he is doing, and yet he's doing nothing. We've placed millions in his hands, and he's not been able to do anything with it. Nothing has he done with it. And what is so vexing about this man's behavior is his vindictiveness. His vindictiveness. The man, it calls himself a pastor, but he's so wicked. This man, when Abdul Karim was out here, they said, oh, he was working with La Republique. He was working with La Republique. As soon as Abdul Karim was picked up and locked up, not a word again has been said from the Sako camp. They have not said, as if they are happy to see our people being locked up. Those in Kondege, he is happy that they are in Kondege. It means nothing to Sako because it clears the way for him to be the emperor. That is how this guy operates. If it were possible for him to orchestrate so that Comrade Chris and the others are rounded up and locked up in Kondegi as well, he would do it happily. That is how wicked this man is.
Tamak, you forgot the issue about our brother Field Marshal No Pity, how they were out there making all kinds of accusations against him.
That's another one. Sako is out there celebrating that FM No Pity should be killed. He is happy that Field Marshal King was killed. This man celebrates when our best are being brought down. And then he sits there and says he wants to free homeland. With who? When you are happy when the best of our fighters are being brought down. Till this day that we speak, this man has not picked up the phone to call the family of FMA to say, I'm sorry for your loss. Not once has this man done so. And then even after FMA passed, this man went out and used his name to raise funds. If you're not cold-hearted, if you're not wicked, if your heart is not, if you're not someone who cannot feel any remorse will you go out and do something like that? The very FMA whose name you use to raise money that you squandered, after he is now dead, somebody is already dead. What harm more can he cause? Just pay him those respects and let him rest. Sako cannot even bring himself up to do that.
Yep.
Honorable Sama Thomas.
Come Mike. I don't know whether now only me I know this story. Because I know which way the man for man will talk up. You go down for Bafuna, the same story. You go around the entire Nemba clan, not the same story. So no matter the problem with me and you will get up. When die, it don't pass in the inside. We will forget that problem. We bury the diamond. If we wish, after the burial, we go back for the problem. But maybe first bury the dead. And during such occasions, we ask enemies to reconcile themselves.
Yeah.
But it be surprising for me. Say FMA it die, Sakono ever call come to Christ for say, well, the person we and them would all fight, he sacrifice the entire bush for the fight for them. They go kill him. Asia, now we lost we all. You know talk about. He stage of raise money there for pay has.
Yes.
As if there will not be enough, come the Chrissy woman die. Child. I don't know what the tradition for we are brother along the coastline. If you get enemy to your brother, no matter what will happen for you, just don't praise. Yes, it's going to happen for you like that way. He will find how will happen for you that way. If not the tradition and the Sakoyi attitude, because I be see what's way Timothy Mbeseha, he make a statement or maybe they said them privately. I know yet I mean. So these people now wait till Comrade Chris he do these people when the hate is so if he die body sleep. My father tell me say if his family member die, like the woman be die, I not go me for day. Go to bury the woman for their compound. I not go me for day. He asked me say now when he go die himself before I will come for day. Mm-hmm. So now man go man talk say if he die, if his brother die or his sister, his family member die, you come for day. You can't bury na ye. His sister don't can bury ye. But if you pretend, say make na he self he die, you come for bury ye. He go see you, say you come for bury ye. Na lie. It means you not be ever pass for a grave.
Yes.
So yes. People, when me I call their names, me they know say, Comrade Chris don't die. They decide for leave their body, say make dogs the talk for corner road.
Yes.
So
yes.
I don't know what will fit forever reconcile that situation. But Sako, most importantly,
yes.
Now the highest vice person will get up. I've not talked this one before. And I talk of a mom. Say, my friend, yes. You are the most divisive leader I've ever witnessed in this struggle. Mm-hmm. In no one cast the word unity or collaboration. Nope. If you see all along way, everybody about leader collaboration in not the ever bad man in mouth. If no be ye, every other person na CPTM. And again, yes. Me, I want to challenge Sako. Ye and this Safo. Make them, these two people, most disprove Southern Cameroonians. Same way, so when it be there for Tico, it will be a CPDM militant. Make it disprove me. But up to this moment, when me I don't leave the SDF, I get my member for my house for here. I get my constitution for SDF with me for my house with me I should don't for them for a year. Me Sako disprove we show SDF card if they be a civilian militant. We eat it sharp with the mouth, for call other people them CPDM. May they disprove certain Cameroonians if they will be a CPDM. Now, it challenge me to over them. May they disprove with.
Honorable Senator Thomas, the sickening thing is these hypocrites, these blasphemers who do these things and they come out and call themselves men of God. And there are some gullible people out there who just, and I'm not surprised because you see Africans out there who follow their pastors, they tell them to go out and eat grass, and they eat grass. So I'm not very surprised that you still find some gullible people believing that Sako is actually a pastor. The way I see religion is, don't tell me about what I should do. Show me what I should do by your example. Show me what I should do by your example, not by what you tell me to do. That is not religion. This man is so unforgiving. He's so unforgiving. I can assure you that if he heard that, if they put Chris Anu's body, that he's dead, Sako will walk on it and pass. It wouldn't mean a thing to him. That is who that man is. And it's just, I just want people to understand him. Well, Sako is, he likes to throw this dust in the air. We are going to play in this dust in a while. Since he feels that he can use surrogates to damage the reputation of others, calling others and saying, oh, they are working, they have already sold out, that's why they are for the referendum. This man is so shameless. He's so shameless. That's because people are calling for a referendum, so it's because they have sold out to the Republic. Can you believe that? And he himself knows that's not true, but he's sending it out there. Even he himself, he knows that's a lie. But he's saying it out there because he wants to damage the minds of the people against the person he is speaking against. And that is just the very wicked intentions of someone who just wants to poison the minds of the people. I don't want us to spend the whole day on this. I just wanted to. I hope the refugees in Nigeria, the message we're sending to the refugees is this: avoid this terrible, wicked woman and anything coming from the Sako. They don't mean well for you. If you are trying to come together to have a stronger voice so you can be safe in that temporal environment where you are, and there's somebody who doesn't want you to do that, that person does not like you. That person does not care about your interest. Take note of that. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is this much talked about referendum, of course. And again, when it comes to referendum, Sako's ugly head cannot be missing there again. He comes out and he says, oh, people who are calling for a referendum have surrendered to the Republic, and that is why they're calling for a referendum. We have explained severally that the call for a referendum does not mean that we have now turned our backs against negotiations. That it is just another option we want besides negotiation, that whichever that we are presented with, we should be able to take it. But can you break it down? Maybe we'll talk for Pigeon. Sometime it will enter some of these people their head, especially Sako and his surrogates. So when we talk about the need for a referendum, you know what I mean? Say we reject negotiations. As a matter of fact, you know if you get a referendum without negotiation, because you get to negotiate the modalities of the referendum. So now a two-step procedure. No, so Dr. Ngwabe.
My brother, look, the thing past my power. I don't know whether some people that they make like say they no feed, waka and chop mango at the same time. I don't know whether people that they make like say like as they should, like you see me, I sit on for front this computer screen as I wait for my own question. I they follow up on some other thing where I feel they do while they wait for my own question. You understand, no? Now the thing that way they follow me when I hear this thing. For sake I say we talk about an internationally supervised referendum, an exclusive referendum. It no means say we know if they do self-defense, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean, that's not what it means. It doesn't mean that when a negotiated process comes along that makes sense, right? That actually, because I mean, we've learned from what La Republic has done in the past, right? So I can almost tell you that Ambazonians will be very wary of going into. They'll be very wary for enter any kind of negotiation where confidence no good. They say La Republic did it. You understand? No. So when you hear some of the kind thing the way that they talk about this referendum palava, you ask yourself, say, the alternative way you want implement, the alternative way you feel say it makes sense, how you go arrive with it. How you go arrive with them? When we look at all, when we look for all the recent history where people they don't go through conflict like ours, we know they talk say now cut and paste 100% no. But when we look for that people they don't go through the same situation like we to be ultimately used for help them for secure their sovereignty and their independence and the international recognition where they go need for be able to implement some of the policies they go be able to need for implement when they get their independence. When you look for all that peace agreement, you see say referendum be involved. And when you see say that internationally supervised referendum it be involved for that agreement then where it come up for the negotiated process, you know understand why people they blast this matter. And then worst of all, my fellow Ambazonians, when I know say when we dey fail for plan, we dey plan for fail.
Yes.
That thing where Foncha them be do in 1961, where Foncha no be share that federal constitution where proposed constitution where Ahidjo Bigi, where you know be sharing for a fellow Southern Cameroonian them before they go for that negotiation. They enter for it empty head. We know that kind of thing where when they enter for exam empty head, no, where you know we know jar, where you know be even make any studies. You will right waiting for that. And now the thing now where they be enter for they know they were taken aback and they know be in a united front, even though they be try for some small few 4 or 5 points now that they could use to try to counter the thing. But at that point it was ineffective because they be enter for that place where they know be prepared.
They not be prepared. They never don't be prepared.
Yes.
They never be prepared. And for your point, Tangwambe, more look this situation. We don't be for a situation where for the past almost 60 years now, we don't these things say, oh, resolution 1608, oh, they be make the abolished independence, oh, why they never give we third option, why they only give we 2 options. So we don't think this one, we don't write all kind letter them, we don't go for United Nations, we don't go for Congress, we don't do all that one for all these years. Nothing, it never come out of that. Nothing. Now we don't get some person where it don't come, it try for God, we say, look, if we not really want to succeed for this thing, now so we not want to get for follow, now so we not get for follow, now so we not get for follow. No, I'm not saying that just any kind of person. Now person where it don't be the under secretary for the foreign affairs, more talk and so for where people they feel understand for the United States. For Africa, where he understand the region very well, he understand the country, La Republic very well, he understand the situation very well. He say, if we not want to do so, if we not want to succeed, na so make we not go for do because if we not continue to preach this thing, resolution 1608, we not be here for the next 200 to 300 years. That one not go take we not go anywhere. Now so you don't explain them for me. And these people, they never even first bring their own person where, if as you rightly talk, say, they never get another alternative. Where to be the alternative? Which person where Sako and the others where they say they don't want referendum? Which person where they get and where it go bring we an argument, it be willing for stand, represent we, show we the doors and for knock them for international diplomacy, for open with the doors we need for open up. They don't get no person. They get empty hand. They get empty hand. I don't talk say the way the people they behave like person where it don't get inside hole. It don't fall inside hole.
Spoilers.
You see some person, he can't throw a rope, say, hold the rope, man, drag you, move on. The instant don't they say, you the only throw me in a rope. Why you no go bring me in a ladder? Man, climb, come up for the hole. Go bring me in a ladder instead, you only throw me in a rope. That kind of person, you just say, even like you be that person where you want to help, you know, turn your back, go you will go say, okay, since we don't say, find a ladder. Ma better find a ladder first before I can help me come up. If not you, you go get that patience. Honorable Sama Thomas.
It means you not be ready for come for your home now.
You not be ready.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for Sako. Make me I congratulate Dr. For a later way he write and send them out. Because if he never send that letter out, they still make the old make him about reform. So that the oldest position for the SCH will stand for them. It will mean nothing for some people of them. But he write that letter, he open back everybody ears and hate. But we will challenge the public say, if you feel saying that we few with the agitate, offer the people of the South referendum for share more than we few the agitate, will the republic, you don't ever do one. The question where I before expect Sako make the ask make we all, because me too I ask that same question. And I work out wait if it be an alternative for that same question. Who go organize that referendum? Who go supervise them? And how we go do take out the Republic police and administrators of Southern Cameroon before the referendum? Who go be those who vote for the referendum? These are legitimate and worrying questions where anybody where he get Southern Cameroon hard if he asks them. And for go back about our people they die, we say some people don't survive for La Republic. Maybe I ask Sako, if he talk about negotiations, if it happens, say we go for negotiations table tomorrow, negotiations now a game of give and take. Wait till the people of Southern Cameroon they hold them for their hand to go give them public if we reach a stage. Now for impose our own ideas, or say, okay, now if we don't reach a stalemate, wait to be a fine line we all will walk through. Because that fine line we all will walk through with the Republic and with the international community will say, yes, a fine line, we are impose it on the both parties. It's and who is supervised by the international community and policed by the international community. If that is the case, to be policed by the community, the international community employ police in the southern Cameroon. And if the community army or a police of the southern Cameroon, it go there, it don't mean that say we are fighters. They go surrender their guns. We will keep those guns. Southern Cameroon will keep their gun. Because that now a truce for that referendum will go through. If you go either way, go back for our trouble. If we not accept that verdict, but if we accept the verdict and we win for that verdict, then the international community, you know, allow that people to come into the Southern Cameroons.
Yes.
So why will you talk about a referendum? For it to go on. If we don't surrender, why mean that you will still contribute money for say make the fight to go on? If this continue be wrong.
Now the question that you the only talk about that one. How about the one where it even talks so you ask and say who say own effort there for ground for make sure say that negotiation where it ask and so it come about. And we don't see how we even with prisoners of conscience with there for Kondige, Inform for and Abdul Karim, they don't write long letter. Say this thing are correcting make we support them. We don't see plenty people. As a matter of fact, a majority of Ambazonians they rally around this referendum option, saying a good thing. Now only a tiny few people where most of them are because now power mongers. Now people where they not like democratic process because they know say that referendum it will come by a democratic process. They know go fit impose themselves on the people if they will follow this referendum method. We don't define, we don't explain the meaning for this referendum. Now the most democratic way for get which people to want. I think plenty people they don't explain them. For don't we palm for don't accept them. Abdul Karim don't accept them. Plenty of people for prison they don't accept them. Now only these people they want a dictatorship that they be against this option. Not only them to be against this option. So the thing it just be terrible, but we get for continue for the educated people, make them understand the difference. I made them understand say this thing a good thing where all we will get for celebrating. Ground zero is like them, diaspora is like them. People the way they want for see a genuine, make this want for see this bloodshed may end. But for make sure say it not just end of semi end, but it's a it end with we getting back with territory, getting back with independence. Why any person it could be against them, especially people where they don't get any other option for give way. Now the thing that way in the past week. I get some statement where I want for make and hear Dr. Gwambe. I get some statement where I want for make and hear, but I want me to make your own comment about this before I make a statement. And the statement what I want to make it be related to the UK, their position after the 1961 plebiscite, where they be just decide for be them aloof. I want to examine why their behavior will be so, and for see whether the call where these people they make a now say make we only go on a negotiation, whether that one be possible, taking that fact into consideration. Before I make them, some we brother here, well, we say mood no the no may we know the insult we forefathers because we try their best. No, we not insult them, my brother. The fact that we state this one means that we no fit afford for insult, my brother, because we forefathers because they will try their best, even with their limited knowledge and exposure to the international diplomacy at the time. They will do their best. I think we self now so we need to do as much as they do. So we no fit afford for insult them, my brother. We need to insult them. We only talk and say the thing what we don't do them since that time can't do and now it never work. You know me say they not try, they try, but it never work. So we give for correct with mistakes now. Adopt other measures where the few work. We know if we just continue to march down the same, you do with the same way, you do the same thing over and over and over. You get the same result. I know if you see I'm saying if need be necessary for change, that means you be crazy man. We will not be crazy people. Now, why that way would they adopt this option for a referendum? For do something different. Thank you. I need to hear you all.
This it be frozen.
Yeah. Sorry. I say no. Dear brother, he talk that talk now. I don't know he pronounce it and show or and so. He be correct in the sense say, and like all we will be involved in this liberation struggle, we get for check this thing fine, because if we mess this thing up, you say now our name they go instead replace our forefather that named them for bad mouth. I hope all man will be involved in this liberation struggle. You understand that one. And when you want to look and find some of the mistake then where our forefathers they make now we too they make now. For example, they talk about how when Ahidjo be the try for Toxe made the Ambazonian or the Southern Cameroon's opposition parties them made they come under one umbrella and made they make one big party. From the history where I understand, they say Foncha Bitel, the other party, they say, hey, may we not unite under me, that way we feel negotiate in strength and get a better positioning if we're trying to go into this thing. Instead for the other Southern Cameroon's parties for understand that one, unite, collaborate with themselves, speak to Ahidjo in strength, they do that one. Instead, they dissolve their parties and they rush for enter the one party thing where Ahidjo be the propose, because they think say Ahidjo put them for a better position. So they sell their self-interest out, their collective self-interest out as Southern Cameroonians in the name of I must be put in a better position than my brother to pick crumbs. Ambazonians in the situation we're in, it resembled that for me. It resembled that very situation because people already talk For example, Chris already talk. I say before we go to any process again, we Ambazonians, we need to sit down and decide on how we are going to go about doing this thing. Decide how we're going to find who are going to be the professional negotiators who are going to handle this thing for us. Who is going to be that committee of Ambazonians that liaises with that professional negotiators. That way, when the professional negotiators, they go discuss that one thing, they'll come present them back for we for make sure say we be okay with that thing where they don't go talk for day. Instead of us doing that, some people are there, they want to behave as if they want to negotiate this thing themselves. Same stupidness that we're doing now is the stupidness that our forefathers did then. And this history is right there for us to look at it and learn from it.
Now you were Dr. Ngwambe, now you were Ambassador Timbernage don't ask and say, for una if she say we must follow that path, show me how una want for achiever. Now how una want, which be the thing where the guarantee say if una follow that path, it will lead una to the result we want them. Una show we na tell we how that one go work. They never talk. They only talk say, oh, only one made a Moscan she don't have a table negotiate. We don't ask and say, so if you say, if you go she don't for table now, La Republic start say they want give you a special status. Now say we want independence. La Republic say, okay, we'll give you a 10-state federation. You say you want independence. You only stand for one place. They negotiate only from one position. The other person they give to them. At some point, the international community go see and say, now we will be intransigent. They go tire una. They go say, maybe we will not be serious about this thing. So the best option now for give that authority to the people. Because a referendum it be binding. If it don't take place, they wait where the people then decide, now that one get for B. But if you go for negotiation table, it no be guarantee say you go succeed. It no be guarantee say you go get it, we come out with exactly which way you want them. The other alternative, now say either you beat La Republic by military might to a point where the party will come out. And international observers not say we don't get that capability. Up to now, we never get any person where it even really support we now. We will still try by we say, and the question on it take money, they pay the rent. Who said the money go come out now? But I ain't talking that. But we'll be determined for continue till the end. But we get for the take stop and for the see which side would go for see whether we fit make corrective measures as we go along so that we no can tire. So now all I would ask, we just use that referendum as another tool for we own arsenal as we march along. No before reject say no, it must be not this way. Okay, show me the path of success for that way we want to know. Nothing. Who did they talk the assist with? Nothing.
So
you want to continue just to make a point before I make my statement here, Dr. Ngwambe.
The other thing I want to add, I say, I be see for on that they be put this right away. This Madam way, Chris be interviewed Susan Gaze, and we really want to thank you for coming to the show and talking to us.
Yes.
You understand? He talks say when you look at this thing, one of the reasons why the international community or some kind of sympathizer they know they really know how to categorize we now because they get their own special bracket and where when it talk their heartstrings they know how to classify them. But because we don't talk this palaver say na legal matter, people they know they really sorry you for say legal matter. Oh. But if you talk the one, but we know say the legal matter, the history of the legal matter, it matters to us, and we get that, and we go teach that one we go get independence. But now, so when you want to talk at the heartstrings of the international community, especially for the voters who compelled their governments to get this coalition of collaboration going to press on La Republic of Cameroon, thing and day where you get for the talk about Mami Api, talk about the Ngabu massacre, talk about how they be beat our brother Ngwa Gandhi so that he nails them fall off in the days of the into multipartyism. Talk about the power way during that same multipartyism implementation, they be take Ipikinem, they kill that Pikinem. Time when the power go protest, they jail that power. Those are the things you're supposed to be talking about. Talk about how this what do they call them? This national this thing where they try to do for they it be been a conversation between CPDM elites them, whether that very CPDM elites them, they don't put we for this palava. There's a
talk about
whole history of things.
All the villages where they don't be burnt. Talk about all the people where they language for jail now. We people where they for jail for no crime. How many of the language for prison now? What did be their crime? What did they do wrong? Talk about all the people where they suffer for refugee camps.
Yep.
They are taught.
Talk about people that don't drown for Caribbean Sea because they want cross this side. Talk about that people then. Because the legal issue, unfortunately, it touch people.
One thing I want to talk now, sir. When given the circumstances where they be lead where they be require, say, make the southern Cameroons make it get independence now by joining Nigeria or by joining La République du Cameroon. I don't take this palaver. I see I'm saying the time where they decide for give we only those two options, and we can't decide now. Say we join La République du Cameroon. If you see the UK behavior after that decision, they will simply abandon we. They abandon we for La République, abandon we for France. They say, okay, since we don't decide for joining other people, we know go support una for anything, we know back una up, they feel the use una they exploit una for them, we know go talk no nothing. Why? Because the UK be prefer some who join Nigeria because they already get bigger investments in Nigeria. The UK will prefer some who join Nigeria so that they will get a bigger piece of the pie. Now we can't decide for join La République du Cameroon. The UK, it turned their back on we. Now, why that way? Even after that plebiscite, they never follow through for CC will be actualized the terms of the plebiscite. Time will go for referendum. There be no say La République, it don't deep we. But they stand them, they look different side, they don't care for CC. The thing where La République do for we is not correct. So, I ask this with brother them. Where they talk say no, we must go now for negotiation. We must go now for negotiation. When I feel say when I will go for negotiation, can't compel. And not be only the UK be doing, the United Nations we know too. But when I know the power where the UK it will them for United Nations and France of course. So time where they go, time where all these things that happen, the UK. Sorry for this phone call. Ma just mute them first. I don't know why. Canada. Mercy. Comrade Canada, I will call you. I'll call you when the moment is right, and you can chip in, please. Just hold on with your comments. Yeah. So when these things they don't happen, so at the ask and I say they feel say we feel now go compel the UK and the UN. May they can't admit, say they don't make mistake for reverse those decisions where they don't make and where it will be at we own disadvantage. Say they can't admit, say they will make mistake that time. It be, I think, say it be easier for we, and it be easier for the UK and the UN for come support the option of a referendum where it will be a face-saving measure for them, where they go make sure say they correct their mistakes without actually admitting to the mistakes. Nothing what I think. And I believe very strongly. Say it be easier for them to support this option of a referendum where it no go require say they can't agree, say yes, they will make mistake for that one where they be forced to say we will only join Nigeria or join La République. Then for say me when I must can't agree say why when I be first cheat the Southern Cameroons na only talk say we must join. It be difficult for them to can't admit their fault. But if we go for the option of a referendum, it be easy for them for say, okay, go for the option because now when our people they decide, it could be a face-saving measure for them for correct their mistakes without really admitting to that mistake. That one I'm not treating Honorable Samatamas.
Not true. You know, for the I know if wrong you yesterday. Then today you grow up, you talk say as I be wrong you yesterday, so me I come, me you blow my nose. Me blood over there, they run the camp for you, say me you blow my nose, me blood they come up for them. I know go come. I know even tell you say Aisha, I will leave you. But if you come with brother, you know be doing for me that day, so you know say if you pain me, I go tell you say I be sorry for that you have been doing so. And sorry I be so I compensate you for this aspect. Now wait the simplest thing that we touch in the struggle for 10,000 Cameroonians because it is broken down for these simple words them we will feel understand them. So put it carry away the doctors. Maybe I come this I know maybe some come pick their they put down what you're talking now because be very, very important. For 1959, Dr. Nkrumah became for Southern Cameroons. He can't tell for Indele and the rest. Say addicted make una go with one voice because if una go separately, they go defeat una for day and which one want them, una go lost them. The question where Southern Cameroon should not ask themselves today. Now say, now which country for this world? It addressed the United Nations, the government of that country, it addressed the United Nations. At that same session, the opposition of that country addressed the United Nations and they take from the government, they take also from the opposition. Because they for Indele and Tumaza, it implicates Southern Cameroon like this today. But they didn't listen to it where Dr. Nkrumah, it be terrible for 1959.
Yes.
Tibo Nash, it is still repeating that same thing today for we Southern Cameroonians. Can you imagine? Tibo Nash is repeating now from word to word. Which way Dr. Nkrumah tonight? Say, make come together, come they talk with one voice. The international community, it listens and now. No, say this the nation can talk with the same signals for the international community and they don't feel listen for we. I don't cry this in for we also I don't tire me. So I find them out like I took and say the way to we do today. We are the spoilers of this story. So gang and others we it is say if not be me for this thing, you are a spoiler. But now the highest moment, this will we all, no matter how physical soldier will live up there, bring them if truly you want independence of the Southern Cameroons. They don't overtalk them, say, go together. And I've been 1 week, about 3 years ago, I said, they will say, together with the Geneva come together. At a certain moment, we will talk, no man will listen, and they will just abandon we come and go. That time, America will put this resolution for Congress, he put it for Congress, he called this committee for the Southern Cameroons. For how many years today, America don't call Congress again. America should not talk anything about the Southern Cameroons. We don't ask ourselves, which halfway America turn it back for not talking anything about the Southern Cameroons. They don't say again their missions. America we talk, they come, we insult them. We are stupid. The likes of Sako for this struggle. Make Southern Cameroon on the ground. Make the common man for ground for Southern Cameroons. If you know the spoilers of this struggle and also call them out. Distance themselves from these spoilers for so is not ready. He is doing the job of the Tumaza and in the 50s, so far as this struggle is concerned. That advice given by Dr. Nkrumah to Foncha and Indele and Tumaza, Sako, my brother Chen Ayaba are playing of Indele and Tumaza to betray the people of the Southern Cameroons.
Yes, and I thank you when you make them very clear there, Honorable Samatamans, because the reason why this with other comrades they behave so. It not been because of the love where they get them from Ambazonian. No, it be because of their own selves, because they care more about their own self-interest than the interest of Ambazonian. Now the reason that now people where they put their own self-interest above the interest of the people of the Southern Cameroons. If they be care, and these spoilers, if find some Ambazonians, they start to identify them, they reject them, put them aside. Any person where it be against the option of a referendum, that person, it be okay, forget concerns and forget questions about them. But when you just come out say you know want them, you know be for the freedom of the people of the Southern Cameroons. We all will get questions about them. I myself, I think I get my own questions about them, and I'll get concerns where before one go in there, I would like to see those concerns may be addressed. But folks just come out outrightly for reject them. You put your self-interest above the interest of the people, and that is wrong. And I think that way any Southern Cameroonian, any Ambazonian, get for reject, throw that kind of people out, throw them out. They need to care about yourself. You are suffering. They need to care about the suffering of the people. They need to care about those who they suffer for prison. They care only about themselves, and that one it be wrong. My call comrade candidate. If he say he want for he get a contribution for Mecca, ma see which kind contribution where everyone make them. I will call it. Ma call it now, not so. Just give me a moment. It ring, I wait for me answer. All right, comrade candidate. Yes, you're on the war zone. What's your contribution, please?
Yes. First, let me appreciate you. Let me appreciate you and the panelists. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Carry on.
Yeah. Let me appreciate you and the panelists for the in-depth. The only unfortunate thing is that some of our comrades have made you guys, especially you the guys anchoring the shows, to now start repeating yourselves like broken record, according to our honorable ambassador.
Yeah.
Called Keep Talking. Yeah, there's an article written by John Tellney. Just hold on. There's an article written by John Tellney. Let me just one second. John Tellney, Liverpool. Yeah, it was written on the December 20th of sorry, it was written 20th of February 1961. Yeah, when I finish, I will send you the full article.
Okay. All right.
Yes, this article is telling about this idea that we said, like Dr. Kwame said, the mistake we are trying to make now is the same mistake the Frontier made. You know, even though we are always saying that they gave us only two options, that's true. But intentionally, the UK knew that they made a mistake. And look at the thing. They will not want to revisit this mistake. That's why they are going around the referendum option. So
exactly. Exactly.
They don't want to go around it again. That's why they're not using the referendum option to take it back to the popular court of arbitration, which is the people's court, so that nothing should settle there. Yes. So according to John Tenney, when they left us without join Nigeria or join La Republic, they were on the standby. This is a very good article in the UK library. They were on a standby because they knew that they thought to themselves, if Frontier for some reason just disagree 1 second or either, we have to go in and make sure that territory is independent. Because they said they were very surprised if Frontier can just carve it for whatever it is. So they are foreseeing that. Even the UK was divided. When that thing was going on, they were divided. The parliament in the UK was divided. I'll send you the article. There were people who we have made a very big mistake to leave that territory like that. There were people saying, okay, let's go watch and see what Foncha will do. That they wrote that Foncha has a knife and a yam. Any little disagreement of Foncha or Edo, we have no option but to go in and give them their independence. But unfortunately, like we said, Foncha, since he was doing nocturnal business with Edo, put us where we are. If Foncha has not raised a voice before, I will 5 minutes, you can stop that thing there and you get it out coming.
You see?
Yeah, I was saying the article. They were watching.
You see?
They were watching.
That is true. Can you listen? That is true.
And that is
there was
always
a
the same
British
thing
warship.
that even those who went to Canada were doing, right? People just go unilaterally and they are taking decisions on behalf of the whole country without consulting others.
And that is another problem, Tom Mike. That is another problem.
Yes. So what I'm just saying is, based on what Mufungwabe said, some of our people, because of a selfish interest, they don't read. The same mistake that we made, this is the one that are about to repeat themselves. And let me tell you something. Don't throw the stone at the messenger. Chibo Nag and the Hudson Institute, they are those messengers. The electoral committee have started the background and look at this one matter, and it's a bitter pill for them to swallow. They say this messengers go and tell those guys the route they're taking, we can't stand that route because that route is going to implicate a lot of us.
Of course.
Tell them this is the path to go. Those are those messengers. Okay.
All right.
Another thing I want to say again is this. The same Sako, I'm sorry to call his name, I don't like calling him, but somehow you can't help it. We have people like that.
He really wants people to keep calling his name. For what reason, I don't know.
The same Sako who is opposing the referendum option, has he told his surrogate that he was duly invited for that meeting in Boston where they were going to take that decision and he refused to go? He has not told them that.
No, he hasn't.
And believe me, that was an opportunity for him to be there to air his own. Of course, we're not saying that he's stupid. He probably has a reason, but he was supposed to be in that meeting to say, gentlemen, you are bringing this offshore referendum. This is how I think, Because in that meeting, there was a backdoor clarification that was made that they will never say them on media. They will never. And when you do that, like that, you are more or less speaking from the outside. You're speaking from the outside. This is something the people are supposed to start advising that go to meetings with diplomats, attend meetings with diplomats, get information firsthand. Instead of relying on what UN will tell you or some John will tell you, you take surrogacy, you are all over the place. That meeting was held out of camera. That meeting was held out of camera. Which means that there's a lot of details that these diplomats will never come and tell us on social media or on the TV.
Absolutely. Absolutely there. Thank you for that contribution, Canada. Let's carry on with the conversation. I think Ambazonians are listening, and like you rightly said, when they call for a meeting for people to come in and brainstorm on how to go ahead, Sako runs away. He does not want to meet anybody. If he had objections to the option of a referendum, why didn't you go there and present your objections? Why didn't you attend the meeting to present your objections? You stay, you hide under a chair in your house. And then when others have taken the risk of going out there and braving the odds and meeting and coming up with a decision, you just come out and you sit on TV and you say a president and you're saying you're opposing it. Why didn't you not go there and make your own voice heard? If you had a contrary view about it, instead of sitting behind and complaining after others have taken the effort to go there and discuss, and he is saying so from a disadvantage because he does not have the first-hand information, like you rightly said.
That's my point. There's a lot of things that we discussed there, even the roadmap of how to achieve it. They will never go tell that on TV.
Yes. He doesn't have all the information that was discussed in that place. So he is making this decision based on what? Based on his opinion alone. If he was there and had a question to maybe Ambassador Chibo Nash and the other senators who came from Congress, who were present during that meeting, he would have asked them that, okay, but why are you saying this? How are we going about this? And they would have explained to him, and maybe he would not be out there having a dissenting voice now. But because the guy is so chicken-hearted, he does not want to leave his house to go anywhere. He thinks he can be president by just sitting on TV and be president. Let me tell you a story. of recent when they had a case in Washington, and Comrade Chris went there, and Sako came there too, because it was a court case. He had to come, or else he would not have come. And when he saw Comrade Chris, the guy put his face down. He could not even lift his head up to say hello. Comrade Chris greeted Sako's security man. This is very funny. Comrade Chris greeted Sako's security man. Sako's security man greeted Comrade Chris. But Sako sat there and kept his face down, like someone in who has entered a Nyongo house. He did not ever have.
Like person we don't take meat for pot, no. Like person we don't take meat for pot.
I tell you, it's good to have had your contribution, Comrade Canada. Let's carry on with the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
But you know,
Yeah,
that might,
yeah, go ahead.
the thing what I want to say, this palaver, no, like as Dr. Sako no come for that meeting, right? This issue where people think that they don't need to consult the people who they represent, right? They don't need to engage in discussion with people who are also going to suffer from the same circumstances, right? That you think you want to go and negotiate unilaterally from. This is a big issue. And I keep going back to the history, right? The program that I watched where they were talking about this history, one of the things they be point for that program, I say, that when our forefather, they even want collapse their party, then go join Ahijo So. They no be even go back for consult, you know, the constituents where they be even elect them. May they go for day. So when people are behaving as if you should not talk with fellow comrades who are all going to suffer in the same, cook in the same pot of soup as you, if you go and you negotiate something unilaterally by yourself, Masa. If you act as if you cannot go and sit with fellow patriots to go and make sure that you are helping to cross the I's and the T's in such essential conversations and meetings like that, Masa, then what are you really doing? What are you helping? That is the part of it. When I look at some of these things now, the future generations are not going to judge this current generation well if we fail. And I really pray that sinks into all of our heads.
Especially that we have used the most resources than any other generation. We have used the most resources. This conflict has caused the most death than any other. So we must succeed. We have to succeed. It's not there's no option for us to fail. We cannot fail. Let me just ask you on this question of the choice by joining another country to gain your independence. Has there ever been a precedent before us where another country was asked to gain its independence by joining another country? Or has there been another case after us that asked another country to join, get its? I don't know. I'm just asking, but I don't know.
I think at the people for land, they suffer the same fate like the Southern Cameroon people. All the people, the different Southern Cameroons and the people for Baluchistan, now the British themselves, they made the union between Baluchistan and Pakistan. But Baluchistan now a separate country from Palestine. But the people that suffer the same fate like the people of Southern Cameroons, now Somaliland.
Yeah.
But that don't like I told them. And if you have today, then tomorrow you want to make I tell you say Asha, they took my camera blow my own nose. Before then turn around, if you blow the comb for your own nose, you tell me say Asha, you won't tell me say Asha, you will fight for fight. But if you tell me that Asha, I come for you for say brother, you know say that you done for me yesterday, so it hurt me. And today I still vex with you. That time the British nobody ever listen anything about the Mao atrocities for Kenya. But the British don't pay for the Mao atrocities for Kenya. Actually, they pay that damage over the short 10 years.
You see.
But Kenya, first of all, it don't get the independence. And if you take the British back for court, for their own court, they win Britain get ignorance in order than for pay. So make we use that same method. If we don't be free, we now come back for the British. Say, but when I know say this would have done we so it'll be fine. That time and they will pay for what they do. Then for support when the British pull out their soldiers one, they will remain at the high seas. They wait for the reaction for the Cameroon people.
Okay.
For Booba 6 good months. When we station their vessels on inside sea. No agitation. So they give us their military to go there. But today, we will make the same mistake. My only plea, we be at the plead with everybody. When you don't raise soldiers, the pass ahead, go touch heaven. If you know, say you want to defend the society, bring down the southern Cameroon. Unless you get some motives, when I only know about the motives, when you will insist, say, and if you talk with my brother, and only me I go lead. If you me I lead, then nothing more. You are the enemy of everybody. We should treat these people like Muna. Maybe we treat the people who don't want for listen about unity like they sell out Muna.
Yes, and I will hear this. I will hear. I don't read some comments here, and I like those where they watch, especially by Facebook. We like me when they leave on our comments. We read them and we take note of. Under Secretary Missouri, you don't write say no one leader has the power to discuss on behalf of Ambazonian unless the Ambazonian people give their blessing. Of course, that's very true. So again for me. So I go thank those who they watch, and please write your comments. We'll read them and we'll factor them into the discussion. Now I would like to move transition to the next topic since we get quite a bit for talk about today. We see I'm saying the so-called 20th May it don't pass, right? The so-called 20th May it don't pass. Ambazonians, they completely, overwhelmingly, they reject the 20th May. Throughout the national territory of Ambazonia, the 20th May, it don't be vomited out. Ambazonians, they say, to hell with this, we are not having this anymore. Never again in our territory shall we have this sacrilege. We will not be insulted. We will not go out and celebrate the day of our enslavement. We are done with 20th May for good. And fellow, my fellow conference panelists, where when I watch, I sure say when I be see way to way Ambazonians they do. From north to south, in unison, they decide say this thing will not be that first time. But I remember how 20th May used to be now, Dr. Mabe and Tasama. 20th May, you know the get place for put your foot. You know the get place for put your foot. You go for field. You go for field. Now you go muscle your way for stand see where they happen for field. Some people they climb on top tree. So one they climb on top tree just for see which way they happen for field. Now anyway, now we see some kind of images that come up for there. And they wonder which way it happened. And a lot of people still believe, say, by some miracle, maybe what I had to go give in a which kind medicine we drink at me, rewire we had so that we could start to celebrate the day again. I don't know. But before we comment on anything about the 20th May way, Ambazonians don't vomit it out. Maybe we just look at some pictures for enjoy how fine way 20th May be passed for Ambazonia this time. I said, we want to play not that way, not also on Oh, that went to that. No, show me that back pass. Show me that back pass. That back pass was shell. Dr. Gomez and how was our doing? So other images in there. So other one they do. Some people want to do. I don't know whether the video get that other one there. That's the other one this. I tell you.
Please, can we put our hands together? Can we put our hands together?
Journalists, he chase matches or back. I said, no, story this power was God. So other one day whether na for Anakumbo, so other Kumbo on this, so other Kumbo video there.
Please, can we put our hands together? Can we put our hands together?
Make it run or make it try and run fight journalists. But they show them for Kumbo, they want for Kumbo. Oh, I've been a boy.
Please, can we put our hands together?
All right, okay. I think we don't see enough. We don't see enough. We don't see enough match. Only myself. I just say, Dr. Government officer, whatever. They are the movie people that go keep our level. People that go keep our love. You see, when I don't go get out at crazy people they for sell, they don't get out at crazy people. You see that man? You see that man where we hold that second sign? Any match cap, the whole side and back was they said. That man doesn't say they give say they give say can't take a match. The man don't take side to know. He whole side, the side that other one, that one behind, I think that one behind the one. He hold the side, he look that backward. That way they don't. There's someone not warning. I even reverse of that. I tell you, look for grandstand. They show that side then for who? Now who there for grandstand? There are just a few like for me to come around military. They did for it. So other one they were. So other day where if you show the person where it makes speech, it look around, you see fear for your heart. When something behind, so you see how the back will turn with fear. They, they just started. They only had something. They just try to make this. I think I did one or so.
We are launching the Vindictive match. What's the impression?
That's the beginning. Normally, they just start people are.
This one for
I see on the way coming.
To consolidate the unity of Cameroon and oneness. Yeah, okay, thank you. We are launching the Vindictive match.
Yes, effectively.
What's the impression?
That's the beginning. Normally, they just start people are. I see on the way coming.
On the way coming. To consolidate the unity of Cameroon and oneness.
I think that Chamberlain that way to make that mad for Kumbaso. He said the people are on the way coming. Since when? Since when we start the since when we don't see administrator in the camp of field before the civilians they come for field. That one will not happen away. You never first can stand there, so you stand on that sun. Before they come. So then you don't come match before the civilians they come match the order when so I think it be very clear. We don't vomit this nonsense called 20th May. Never again shall we celebrate the day of our enslavement. It is done. We are out of it for good. Anything they get, if we talk about it one over summer too much. I think the pictures they speak for themselves.
Well, the drama, the only thing I said about the drama, and I said this time around, public, you not even get money for so uniform, simply uniform game for the 3 people in match. So they just carrying at the rapper.
I say, you need to talk now which uniform. That people they just go catch them for street. You talk uniform and I say you first know the man will come back before the day.
They move prisoner then. They take a prisoner. Even prisoner they say even Geneva come so the few they come, they just can't take that rapper jam for them. Say jam by your waist. They say put it over your neck. So put it in the giant all the way like people. Are really people.
Despite the fact that they don't want to arrest them the day before, go look and say that day they could release them, say they can't match. Now still the best that way they feel come up with. Even that one don't still be enough for them, for even get any number of people if you can't match. Dr. Wabe, what to be a take on this one, Amasa? I don't love you one time.
My take on this thing.
You accept them, not a waste time.
My own top of back the matter, and I say, first of all, I really want to thank the people of Ambazonian waiting there for them, waiting there back for home, because they don't send a very good message. Say now the kind day then way now the civil disobedience where you get for show like public to Cameroon say the support say they misrule you, say they mismanage you. I mean just see the environment where they match for day. Only dirt, red soil where they for they know. For how many years? For how many years?
There you go.
You understand now? So I really want to thank my people say they don't want to take this nonsense anymore. I really want to appreciate them.
Now, place that way be a ceremonial ground where it's supposed to be paved and it's supposed to look good. See how dusty it is.
Yep. If I would be like them, save this shame.
Wait till we come again about the one plenty now. With people they don't talk, it don't be fun. So the question where I want to ask and I say, for our own mind, would I see any possibility someday in the future where 20th May it will ever be celebrated again for Ambazonian? Dr. Ngwabe, for your mind, you see and say again, Ambazonian, sometime we can reach where they will go say, okay, we'll celebrate 20th May. Is that a possibility?
My fellow. For my fellow Ambazonian, it doesn't even that holiday don't make no sense. They just even get for put out for dustbin because it's a very shameful day. this thing where Ahiju be do now, this referendum nonsense where he be do, where no man be able for campaign against the dissolution of the federal system, where we be enter into the relationship with them on this particular it's a day of shame. It is a huge big day of shame. It is a big huge day of disgrace. And when if Ambazonian they think say they want to celebrate that now, that means say you justify what Ahiju be do back then. Because now some of the things they like now the mischief way Ahiju do, where it caused all this palaver up to now. But the fortunate thing I say, Ambazonians, and we have collectively shown our public and the international community say we know one day without people them again. That's what I'm really proud of our people for what they've done with what they do with days like this from 11th February, 20th May. You know, our people always make us proud on these days. They always make us proud because they always send the right message.
Not true statement. That not really true statement. And you see, just look at the people where they don't hear. How many civilians are there? Now all military that now. They're not all military. They're all military. So now when we 20 maybe not been a day where the military is your front row. We say even the administrators, they say there's the administrators say they run. They don't pick up. The ability to guys job of front row. Who said you there? Who said mayor there? Who said the other people they did? Now at military occasion now. So the question again, Officer Thomas, when La Republic will realize say that the chase now in a shadow will be elusive. They don't ever catch that shadow. This thing it don't be over. When it go down on La Republic to Cameroon, for no say Ambazonians, they don't make up their mind. Say this thing, it don't be over. Now, so it used to be first time. You see the place be packed, but not now. So the question was, as I said, when it will be done on them, say we don't, this thing, it don't be over. It's over. We are done. We are not eating our vomit anymore.
Comrade Mike, you know that the worst person we deal with, now person we know we don't disgrace. We don't say disgrace by shame with them. Put up a shame again. If you go for street naked, you look at the sword for you, but you don't get no problem. That's exactly where La is now. La Republic say no one day the southern Cameroonian man, come back for celebrate 20th May and 11th February. But because we're gonna be Pekin, like a Catholic Christian, in the Feast of King, my pa will carry father, the match with them for street. But you know see that tradition for the Catholic Church, you know see they against will carry father for up the match of a street during the Feast of Christ the King. Because people don't realize, and even we all father them, so when the indigenous people don't realize say that act it will be wrong. So they see again. So it is still La Republic. It is still live in the past. In the service, the Southern Cameroon people don't come to their senses. Say that they for grandstand food, they are the match part for their before say yes, celebrate the master is stopped for them for he slay them. The dance part before the happy saying now we must now say I be their master. So that day it don't pass. So they are living in the past, not knowing that the worst is to come.
Honorable Samato must be frozen. If you carry on, Dr. Wambe, Honorable Samato must be frozen. If you log back on, I mean, because you just be frozen. Dr. Wambe, carry on.
Well, at the end of the day, La Republic just give understand say this matter don't reach level where it makes sense to say the first person for stay with you where you know one stay with you. Now, just the natural consequence of things now. You know, when you see that kind of environment, what would be the point? It be, well, I don't know if I thought I heard him coming in. It'd be just a big, huge waste of life, money, and time that that country is doing to us now. Where did they try to force people for stay in a forced jumba marriage? No, not even a real marriage, and some forced jumba marriage where you for live and you go to continue do your own work. You understand? No, but hey, sometimes you have to take a beating in order to realize that what you're doing is wrong. You know.
I tell you, because the thing with that, and I say, when you look at this, because when you look at progressively, time will just start the boycott of this so-called 20th May. It never be as successful, but progressively it will be more and more and more successful. And despite the fact that a lot of people talk say, oh, life it come back to normal. Oh, schools they don't go back so life they come back to normal. No, wait well out of in favor understand. I say we CSF will not make some tactical calculations because time where this struggle will start, time will be understand say we believe say this thing it go finish quick. Some people think say, oh, 2 years, 3 years we go finish this thing, but we don't come to the realization say it no go. It will just happen at tomorrow. So we get for create a pathway for people for continue for get some normality for their day-to-day lives, so that we will allow private schools so that people will still continue for the get school education. The fact that would allow me that some businesses still get for the car because people still get for the leave, despite the fact that we're there for war. But we know those important activities we will take them. We know those occasions where they must take place, especially things where they remind we of the very reason why we're there for this struggle. We get for prohibit such things. So when people they think say, oh, because with the leave private schools they made it go, that means life don't come back to normal. No, that one a huge mistake. Now we would decide say we don't want for just live with people they made a day without education. But not just say we want for control how that one it happened. Nobody think that if I we don't get always summer Thomas don't come back. I don't know what I been hear me always summer Thomas, because a lot of people they pretend say just because they will live and say make some activities happen, so that means say the water and since when the start talk say, oh, the water ends. Since we are talking to be say there was no Anglophone problem. The war is over. All this and that. What other one to then don't wrong go hide outside so we not hear again. The fact that some activities that happen normally, Honorable Sama Thomas, it be enough for a lot of people for interpret them as say that the war don't end. And a few moments we will see the actions where they happen on the ground, but just make a point first.
Well, you know, a lot of people talk say the war it will last about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes.
But there are 2 weeks. It don't be now 6 years. They still live in that illusion of 2 weeks. There are 2 weeks will pass, and since after that 2 weeks will pass, La Republic never killed up to 10,000 Cameroonians, and La Republic never lost one soldier of Southern Cameroons. That is why the war, the war for them, it don't finish. You know, La Republic people that live in denial. Like my friend John Baakoro, he talk say La Republic, the policy or probably a policy may exhaust you to the last. But it didn't say the La Republic fail for understanding Southern Cameroon people. They don't be resolved. Say they're not going to be exhausted as La Republic think to the last, because we must finish this struggle for our own terms, the way we want it.
Yes.
Make it take the next 100 years. Till La Republic don't fail for understanding and say Southern Cameroon as individuals like you and me, We sponsor this war. We not get no resources to Southern Cameroon. We talk, so we don't mortgage this resource for sponsor the war with them. Now we are hard-earned money as individuals, we sponsor the war, but Larpu the use is whatever resources donor from the Southern Cameroon to take them, and it mortgage Southern Cameroon's natural resources for sponsor the war. Those people Larpu mortgage those resources for. Make them know say we go win the war, we go win La Republic. And anybody we will catch them for Southern Cameroon, say La Republic will mortgage any of our resources for you. We go charge you for trespassing. We go charge you for illegal exploitation. We go charge you for damage to our environment without permit. Make the country do the day they come in, they will pay.
And I don't know how the operatives, those where they make decisions for La Republic, I don't know which way it is for their mind, Dr. Wambe, because when you're there for a situation like this, you think about the sustainability of the effort where you get up. How sustainable they feel carry on with this behavior for they do this thing over and over. And because for them, La Republic, you remember, this lady where we come on ABS with Comrade Chris recently, Madame Suzanne. If he talk, say, it go for La Republic, the high level officials where they talk with, they say, yes, they be interested in negotiation. But they need to come out for express that willingness to take part in the negotiation. Because why? La Republic, they're like person where it deal with an impossible situation. But he continuously the hope say maybe, just maybe if I feel just tired again tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, Ambazonians they feel give up. Sometime tomorrow, but as long as they continue the hope, that's so time it go on. But we want to guarantee them say that hope it no will ever materialize because we be determined, we be bent. When we see the images where they come on, that one for that small girl where they be molested just for walking on the street because they want to take that girl, go rape her. That's so where many of the picking they suffer. Now remember, say this thing be start where they be go for university, they go move picking the same way they go swim for sewage water.
Yep.
They move a boy picking they use 2x4 for beat them, break someone their spinal cord, move someone there for the house and shoot them for leg. That time we know we get even rubber gun say we know we get them. Now then now then show we how for violent. So how they hope say we could suddenly develop amnesia where it will make we forget all these atrocities where they don't commit and for we take them back. Say, okay, we just don't we back as before. That one of the madness, Dr. Gwambe.
The sad thing we did, and I say it will be a different thing if the people in the way UDC say they did progress. You understand now? If UDC say they try for solve problem, they did, do things, they treat you differently. But now people in way they continue for the mistreatment. You understand? Also, on top where we know say they've been a bad heart people, then they will not say they know the change. What in the hell is gonna make us ever want to remain in a situation with them? So that's what for me. So this thing where did they do so? It's a huge waste of time for them and for what they're doing to us. That what they're putting us through because they're not going to change. They're not going to fix the situation where it no go make them where picking them in the distant future they go pick up arm them again for fight them. They're unwilling to change. Even just look the political system where it did. Look at the political system where they did rig election. You watch our now, so they want put now Frank Biya succeed Popo. And you think that Frank Biya is going to be different from his father? Come on. So then for the waste people at time, for the fool people then like say we're now doing a different thing. If we stay, we will not massa. Just go sit down for that negotiation table. Come up with the agreement, say when I don't recognize the sovereignty and independence of Ambazonia, then we'll be free doing what we're doing with ourselves, and then you all can remain in your country being the monarchy that you all want the monarchy to be. That's the way I look at this thing.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gwambe. I think we'll go for the next topic where now the one for we ARFs for ground. We go for congratulate them we will see how they perform well for Boyo. They perform well for, I think, now for
we don't do work. We don't do work.
For Bui. Yes. So we just look some of that video them for the great work we ARFs do one for down. Then we go comment after that. For send a message for a lot of people say, despite the fact that they hope anything go past, we never get time for we instead they improve with time.
Yep.
May we see that picture of them for the performance for the ARS for Boyo and Bui. It take a while for load those pictures.
You know.
Okay. I think those pictures that it take a while for load, and some actions where they will happen. Dr. Ngwabe, you will see those pictures for Boyo, where it completely shatter one of the cars for La Republic, where it be go the trespass for Boyo, and the same thing. I think Naida.
Yep.
More watching. Yes. Neither. It will soon reach the target. Oh, no, I think that's the second one.
No, that one be passed.
That one the pass, yeah. That's the second one. That's the second one. Yep. Just look at that. Just look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yep. Look at that. And the thing I said, woo!
That really knocked them with
it completely pulled the motor around. Yeah. It turned the motor around. You see? Now the thing that way it happened for ground. So a lot of people continue the hope, say, oh, the war won't be over. No. And the good thing about this, say, the level of precision where these guys get them now, they be better and better. They just like they play now with video games now. Just do the thing from distance, and they watch the damage happen. They don't need to go risk their lives. How you feel ever defeat people? Make this people they see how Americans they carry their thing they run for Afghanistan. Now this thing drive America for Afghanistan. Now they think this way it drive America from Afghanistan, despite the sophisticated instruments where America be get them for the detonate this thing them, for the detect them, but this thing they still drive them out of Afghanistan. La Republic, how they test if you ever withstand this thing? How they feel withstand this thing?
Oh, well, sometimes La Republic, it don't be more sophisticated in technology than America and Russia, where they feel say they would defeat the Southern Cameroons or this nature of war. All experts for this war, they don't want La Republic say this kind of war where they go over Southern Cameroon, so you know if you win them you. And the examples around for La Republic will be very, very clear. Say America pull out of Afghanistan after 20 years. It never make 1 year where America pull out of Afghanistan. It never make 40 years where Russia come out of Afghanistan because of this type of war. Then you La Republic, where you know they even make bullets. You feel so if you fight this kind of war. And you see the people you engage the war with them, they improve on their artisanal every day.
Yep.
They make it so you put you come, you know, explode. Some they miss their target. But now that they do it with precision, accurate precision, where they bomb you from left to right. Me, La Republic, wait. I get the next tactic where they will handle La Republic did with this one. When that one go down reach your ground, they start to operate them. La Republic go pick ball for free run. As they say, don't want run. They go run, come up for Southern Cameroon like America run, come up for Afghanistan. Because this is just a tip of the iceberg.
But when you look at actions like this, and you see the level of expertise for these guys where don't they improve, and then you ask yourself again about the sustainability of this war on the part of La République du Cameroon, considering say all this equipment they borrow and now borrow they borrow all the money now borrow. And it's sorry na the lives for the poor boys the way they take and train and say na La République military send them that they can't take their flesh scatter them for Ambazonian forest. So most of these boys they die where their parents they don't even know so they don't die. That motorway they so now how many people they go come up inside? They sick, they can't for Ambazonians they can't fight now waiting they just say they can't fight. They can't fight now waiting for them. Which kind of war did they fight? Dr. Ngwabe?
You know, the sad thing, when I look this thing though, the sad thing we did, and I say, up till now, it shocked me as La Republic, their army, they know yet do coup d'etat against Popo, because for just no say they woke up for bed, and you expect, you imagine, bro, what is the luck? What makes an Ambazonian soldier choose not to knock the first moto, the second moto, or the third moto? So it's like a roll of the dice when you go battlefield, and then when you no say you'll come back. So when I look some of these things, I just do when I said, but they really want to die for that old man. An old man. What has he done for that country that is worth La Republic soldiers going to go and die in Ambazonia for? Especially to go and force something that is already a failed something, right? The Federation, they couldn't stand. The one Cameroon is not standing. So why go and die in Ambazonia for Paul Biya of all people? I mean, did you all? I mean, the Bulu Intervention Rapide, the Biya, and all the other gendarmes. You all saw the birthday celebration that Popo was having with Madame Na. But your colleagues are there every day. They ride in the motor. And you can't celebrate their bolo in pump and style with that, like how Popo and Shanko.
Wait, it just baffled me, Dr. Ngwambe. Now the level of docility, of the La République du Cameroon citizens, where they see this why they happen over and over and over. They never even rise up, say, no, we want an end to this senseless war. I never see them to rise up. I don't know whether they begin at whether they have a beer, whether they drink. They never rise up, say, we don't want no picking, they go die again for this thing. Nothing they talk about. Every day they carry their body, every day they slaughter them. But they don't they hope say they can't take over Ambazonian. But the more that they can continue, the more that they lose. And we tell and say the days ahead are pregnant. The days ahead are pregnant. There are things that are being studied now. Once they are released, oh, we feel sorry for these boys. Feel sorry for them. Man, we don't talk say if you're there for La République du Cameroon military, if you get your sense, drop your weapon, run. If you know if you run, Ambazonians they get channel where they go help you. You bring your weapon for we go help you make you run. Bring us your weapon, we go help you, give you safe passage, you run, go outside where you go. No go die for no reason. Now the thing that would send message for La République du Cameroon military. We go send out a number. If you want for run, you call that number. We go coordinate with you how for find your safe passage to wherever you want to go. Nobody can die for Ambazonia for no reason. We are not going to win the war. We are not going to win it. So nobody die for all diaper wearing dictator. We don't live a luxurious life. Don't live a life of luxury. Take these poor, picking them from poor families, send them, they can't die unnecessarily. Honorable Sama Thomas, maybe if we talk something again, we don't get much for talk here. The pictures, the videos, the same thing happened for
Boy, but kudos to our brothers now.
Boyo.
Kudos
no,
to
the
Boyo.
one what happened at that one for Boyo. The one at the one for Boyo.
Yeah.
And we commanders for the big salute. General Ragni, we salute you for the good work we're doing today to defend the territory. Yes, the unity warriors, they do a marvelous job out there.
I want to talk, say congratulations for we boys them all from the north, the south, east, and west.
Yes.
They don't do a marvelous job. Congratulations for them all. Most importantly, again.
Yeah, and we see the one. We see the one for Meme of recent. We see the one for Fako during the so-called 20 May. All over the territory, they did rise up. We see the one for Kupe Moniguba. No, forget Kupe Moniguba of recent. They do a marvelous job. From nowhere, they come back roaring. They don't count them out, but Kupe Moniguba say, we are back. And they perform. Yes.
Mostly for the boys of Mezam and especially for Pinin, for the tactical acts where they carry out for Efang, kidnapping ring for Batbo.
Okay.
Forget the Pinin out of Efang hands. This one, it will go for tell the ATF. Similarly, be very, very careful. Because what they don't do for this struggle from time immemorial. Kidnap others, kidnap innocent people, the ask ransom from them, the time it don't come. Where they must be very, very careful. Don't anybody remove their combat and come out. Now, because they know be like for kill other fight for bad it used for one. But next time, make a fan not for go up again for being for any and never support say make fighter a kill another one, but make a fan not go up again for opinion for anything. And at the top for the fighters of opinion and mess. If we not see who stand and he boy the trace for Mezam, maybe we get the bad name. Say we don't kill other fighters. Kill all of them. Make mercy. If a family boys them, they pass again for Mezam. We not see them kill all of them. Meanwhile, you know, go back of battle. This nonsense has been tolerated for too long, and we are not going to take it again from the ATF. We either fight this war against La Republic, but if they feel say they will want to fight this war against other Southern Cameroonians, a moment will come where we will choose for face we ourselves, we clean the house before we move on.
Yes.
Fight the enemy without when the one within a day. That one for inside house, it will kill you. So I want to tell the boy for opinion when they do that job, say congratulations.
That one has some sweet news because I will get that news, but I never want to talk on because I never be sure about the veracity. But since we don't talk on, that means say at least you get a confirmation saying I think that happened. With the talk for ARS for Pingin say job well done. You know, sometimes the enemy where they inside house it be more dangerous than the one for outside. So we get for the watch reserves, watch back, and this one a warning forever. It don't come across, it don't get some close encounters too frequently. So me no overcount on a lot. Me be very careful from now on. Not only against our ARS, but against our civilians where they molest them every day. May be put on notice from now hence. I don't know whether you want to talk anything about that one before we move on, Dr. Gwamri.
Dr. Mike, before Dr. come in, make effort. I don't know whether he go school, even if he don't go school. Sometimes he don't read. There is a statement in quote, I've come to kill Caesar and Caesar. Why? If I'm make a mistake, it checks it be an untouchable. One the only boy when he stand for a back guard, he could take it out.
Yes.
Nobody he go outside, he go kill Ephraim. Now only boy where he and he go stand, go kill you.
Yep.
What that might, for me, the one thing I fit up for the matter and I say, look, Ambazonian citizens and our liberation fighters, right? We all need each other, right? There's a reason why we are fighting for independence from to restore our independence and our sovereignty from La Republic du Cameroon, is because they have mistreated us, and there are certain precepts from the historic founding of the nation that they have violated. And in addition to that, we were never really given the option to be an independent nation on our own. We weren't given that option. So in order for you to get to a point where you can have that independent nation, you cannot mistreat your people. You can't.
You cannot.
Right? And for our people, and for our people, if you want to be free, if you want to be independent, if you want to be away from the subjugation of La Republique du Cameroon, we have to find a common ground and support our fighters. Our fighters on the ground, especially the legitimate fighters, right? In situations where you may have people who come to protest against you. I know I may be sitting here in my own comfort zone and everything like that. I'm not facing the kind of pressure we will not face. But some of these things they're not publicity or public relations thing, right? We will not get for managed fine. If we not get some people then where they come for protest for now, right? And when I don't see how La Republique they treat protests, where when we protest against La Republique, they shoot we. Then some people they come protest against Wuna. Let's for the sake of argument, let's say that's what was happening. Instead of you shoot for that people, then we're not the very thing La Republique do for we, where it's instigate this liberation struggle, mind you. Instead of you shoot for that people, then she don't fall down with them, as they say, man, now it don't happen. How if you fix the matter? Engage in a discussion with those our mothers now, because now that very people then when this fight go finish, when we go get that liberation struggle, now that very people then when we go to do our truth and reconciliation in a free Ambazonian, they go point you say you've been a bad boy.
Yes. Yeah, you don't transition for the very right time, because now the topic that way I one more talk next. The advice will give for people them for down. And we don't talk say we ARS for ground. We not understand say when Ambazonian don't be free, the military it will be recruited amongst Wuna. Now Wuna will make the military, but they know just take now any kind of person, put them free. Your conduct during the war, it will count. And that the people then for the place where you be the serve. Now they could decide whether you be a good soldier for serve in the army of Ambazonia. If you be mistreat that people, that way it reach for select you, they could say, no, this man been a my way, it harass we, it take ransom for we, if it molest we, if it do this, if it do that. If you get that kind of bad report against you, you will be disqualified. Now the thing that we did it. So we want to make we ARS listen. We want with this thing now for Wuna, like we will they here, we work them for you. We not get anything, we just turn up for help now because of the pride we will get for the country. No be because me I not they know they will come for Ambazonian for come find work. I don't come find any work for them. No one day. But now for Wuna, they will want forget that price. Say we own homeland, it don't be free. But when I get for make and for where when that homeland it don't be free, make all man glad for the work when I don't do them. So when I go get the right compensation for the work when I don't do them. So now the advice is what we can for now. And on we own civilians too. We mommy them, we papa them, we sister and brothers. When I get for look at this beginning too. When I not go report them for the enemy, a lot of people you can't kill them. Now when I own picking them. When someone don't make mistake, make una point them out for those who they in charge, make they hold them, correct them. Then for turn them over to the enemy. That one, fine. Fine. Your own picking, they say you be your picking sender inside house. You know the sender outside for night, say me which man chop them. So now the thing that way with the back una. Honorable Samaritan, I don't know whether if you add anything there.
Well, that picture might be seen for 20th May. After 20th May, I don't know. Where we made them they shoot on for ground when our boys and force them to be them shoot on for ground like that. I don't know exactly which way we transpire. Like we get a lot of conflicting stories, but one thing stand out. We are both on the ground. Before you want to treat somebody, look that person age. See whether you feel even point that person with your finger. If you notice that person where you want to do so, you know if you point it with your finger, not even ask if it's not on ground. Leave it for the place where you did for day. You go as if you don't see what you eat. Don't you go do whatever they do on that place where they do and so. You time go reach, you go come and go ye. May we not ever touch again, mommy, when we pass 60 years. We would have up to the point when I say make it shit down for ground.
Yes.
Naked on them. Now very bad action. The repercussions for that you want to make and so it will happen for una very soon. We never know when I was with that thing it come out happen for una.
Yeah, come out.
But when find and the next time, maybe I tell you something will be happen for Malcolm in the early 90s, around 1995. Now that time I will know say which way the Malcolm man or the Mezaman could say Takumbem and the Bamenda in general. Because Takumbem are very battle. One day, Dima late man and Wafo, he going for station for go hold their CPD meeting day. It one can down for town. Town don't black with Takumbem. Each time he driver to me, driver enter inside bush. The driver enter inside bush with the motor. Because a very bad thing.
Yes.
For you for sure. So there are people that live on ground, and even by mistakenly you see they must wash you. You know if you go like that, they must cleanse you because they're very bad thing. So make we avoid them on the ground, please. And plead with Wuna. Make Wuna know how Wuna treat people. And know some people in different society where I go tell them they say they be untouchables. No matter the circumstances, leave them for
Never. Yes.
You fear them. You know the going up also you fear, but you go now because you want such a situation for your own as a person and for the general society. Secondly, I hope this one without number. We are civilian population, no one of the first line of defense be that.
Yes.
No attack civilian population for any way possible. But now when we talk saying Gumbai, I never live for grass. Wait till that live for grass. Now everybody waiting for village. It go round the see with you. If A no see and B go see am. And once B see am something. So I then have to live for grass. We are civilian population now. We are first line of defense. Your security. If you antagonize and it means you don't eye for your defense. And why way when they die where nobody will on. But if you do me today, tell me how if I see they come toward you, I will alert you that they come toward you. Make when I take when I time protect the civilians, not for maltreat or ill-treat them.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope say this message it really go down for ARFs and with civilians alike. As you talk with ARFs, una security is there in the hands of with civilians. And when I make them the vex, now then go see the enemy talk say now for they hide. We don't see plenty of una don't die that kind of way. Where they don't take some mighty effects, it go up their point and they can't shoot and kill them. That thing where you take an now, you don't even get chance for even chop them. You don't die with them for your mouth. Like foul. So make una take care of the civilians. When I see some areas that there's some in some other regions for Ambazonian, you never ever hear say the population come out against them. I know I called names. Some area they will never ever hear say the civilian population it rise up against the areas because the areas they take care of them, protect them. Now so it's supposed to be. I always quote the example for the Viet Congs. Time when the Vietnam War, you know the difference between the Vietnam soldier and the civilians. Their intelligence between the civilians. Enemy the one comes on the civilians they can hide them under hole where don't dig under a house. Americans you can't find them, they didn't say but either the civilians when they get the house in no side there. Because they treat their civilians fine. The one way now we now go hook up whole people then take money here, treat them here, beat them here. That one fine. And it depends a bad image of the struggle for outside. Now one bad thing that it depends a bad image of the struggle. It defeat the very purpose for the thing we fight for. Because people will see we now like, oh, not just a bunch of terrorists, fun. And you give them now the enemy they take and run with them. See how newspaper they don't flop all this. I even hear say they read that thing for BBC. It's bad for us. It is bad. So would you please say Muna change? Muna change. And the people where they handle this boy Muna, they advise them. So what they do so where they don't know what they do. Now for they advise them, direct them, discipline them. I mean, we not get discipline, it never ever perform well. Therefore, discipline them. Yep. Yes. Jan Gwambe, if we talk, I think we don't actually come to the end of the show. But before I go for the end of the show, we don't get plenty complaints about these colonial administrators from Bangui town. There's a certain mayor there and a colonial deal. We don't want them the last time we come out. We want them a second time. These people, they poke their finger for we eye. They poke their finger for we eye. The colonial deal and the colonial mayor of Bangui, they will seal some traders their shops. We don't hear say they just open them, but they open and they tell them say, may they need to respect ghost town. So may they need to respect ghost town. We want these people. We want them. They don't see how one of them, it don't be picked up. One of that notorious one will be there for Momo, it be very mouthy. The boys don't pick it. So this colonial deal and mayor, may they not say they be unreachable. We feel reach them, we will reach them at the time of our choosing. May they continue to make this nonsense. May they continue to make them. They need for us who say where their colleague is there now. We want them. May they stop this nonsense. We continue Sunday, Monday, get for must continue as it be. They don't get any right for decide what it is. They did it of their own. we will never elect any colonial mayor from Bengu. It imposed itself on the people. Now the idiot that they do that, we warn them. When we could lay hands on them, they could be very sorry. So make the warning, you go for them. We don't too hear about them. Their glass will soon flop. Dr. Ngwambe, the show it don't actually come to an end. I would like to pass you the last word. Maybe make your closing statements, and then followed by Ambassador Thomas. I will call him a day for the show. I know say we packed the program today with plenty topic, but at least we don't manage to go through all of them.
So, my fellow Ambazonians, thank you so much for joining us on this show today, and our ARFs, especially Boyo and Unity Warriors of Bui, that have been doing an excellent job, and all Ambazonian Restoration Forces from North, South, East, and West. Thank you for your service to country. And our resilient Ambazonian civilians, thank you also for sending a resounding message to La Republique de Cameroon. I really want my closing message to be with regards to the issue of a referendum, and I'm closing with two statements that I liked from our brother Abdul Karim and from His Royal Highness Fong Galafo, right? So in Abdul Karim's statement, he said, the notion of a referendum should not be seen as a capitulation or a mere calculation for Southern Cameroonians. Rather, it provides an opportunity for the oppressed to decide in a democratic and non-violent approach whether to remain under oppressive conditions or pursue their aspirations for independence. By organizing a referendum supervised by reputable third parties such as the United Nations, Southern Cameroons can assert its sovereignty and challenge the ongoing territorial occupation and genocide. That's from our brother Abdul Karim. And then our big pa Fong Galafo, he wrote, let us not fear referendum. Let us fear itself. That blocks positive reasoning and action from unblocking doors to human dignity and progress sustained and guaranteed by national sovereignty. As a people, conscious of who we are and proud of the distinguished action of our ancestors in 1953, and I believe he's talking about when they walked out of Enugu, we should act positively now to bequeath a rock-grounded legacy to our descendants. I want to thank these two fine, distinguished gentlemen for their words of support for what is right. God bless you all, my people of Ambazonia. Take care. And Tamike and Honorable Sama and ABC production team, thank you for the show today.
You mean ABS?
Yeah, ABS. Sorry, ABS production team. ABS. My son,
you don't want to link us with that propaganda outlet. Thank you, Dr. Mbabe. And like you said, it would be nice if our other prisoners held without court, without any crime, can come out and make their voices heard on this matter. I specifically like to hear from Patasan, Sisiku himself, and the others. And Patasan, who for some reason, I'm really disappointed in his recent outings. He's under this I don't know, this charm from Sako that has taken over him, and he is supporting things that are so wrong. I hope he can be able to wean himself from that yoke of enslavement that Sako has, that bad web, like a spider web that he's wrapped himself in. I'm sure he's able to break free and identify with what a vast majority of Ambazonians are appreciating, and especially Ground Zero wants to have a voice in this debate, because for so long the diaspora has decided on their behalf. It is time for Ground Zero to make their own decision. So it's time for us to hear from Ground Zero what they think about this matter. Honorable Sama Thomas, can you make your own closing statements, please?
Well, which of it takes out of Cameroon and say, make we not the waste we are time for the argue whether the fine referendum not fine. Maybe we try to educate where people on the ground. If referendum is come, we used to say if woman be pregnant, whether the begin kind of food, they will receive her. The begin kind of head, they will receive her. But make the begin no kind of yibele, but they will receive her. It means that you want key, mommy.
Yes.
So make we educate the people on the aspect and the opportunity or advantage of a referendum. But make we don't fight now. Now say some people don't when they accept a referendum, now losers, now sell out. It not make no sense. We are educated minds, bigger minds. They pass their time. Like I read something where somebody they talk so somebody write some terrible trash saying that me I be sabotage the ICJ. Some Thomas, I don't even know say I be eating at some legal mind. Say I be sabotage the ICJ a case against La Republique. I just read that thing, I just see there's a news and write down, I just pass. No waste your time. Now for the we create innuendos, we don't need make sense. Make sense on how we move this struggle forward. Now it matter. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you, Officer Matamas. Thank you, Dr. Ngwambe. I think it's been a very fruitful discussion with you today, and I hope that our viewers can appreciate the information we've put at their disposal today. Again, fellow Ambazonians, I'm really delighted. I'm really happy that you were able to tune in today to always benefit from the information that we prepared for you today. Again, our quest for the liberation of the southern Cameroons is on firm ground. We are moving on. Our resolve remains as strong as ever. Our people are determined on the ground. Our ARFs are fired up. They are ready to go. And we are marching on. Our locomotive has just one stop and one stop only, and that is Boya. So I thank you all for watching again today, and we look forward to seeing you again next time when we come on. Unfortunately, we have been bouncing around a little bit just to accommodate the shortage of personnel to man all the programs that we have on ABS. Once we have our calendar our schedule is completely filled in, we will be releasing weekly programs that will tell you program guides, that will be telling you exactly when we are coming on, what program is coming up each day, so you can prepare yourselves ahead of time to watch it. So thank you all very much for watching. It was nice having you on the set of the War Zone today. And please do well to share to those who were not able to watch today so that you can benefit from it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I say take good care of yourselves and each other. Our ARFs take care of our civilians take care of our ARFs. You watch each other like your hands. I watch you, you watch me. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say the War Zone is out. Good night.